Good morning. It's Wednesday, January 1st, 2025. Hard to believe we're already in the 25th year of this particular century. And I am around a long, long time based upon this date. And I'm happy to be here. And I'm happy to be able to wish all of you a happy and a healthy New Year. And I'm also here to tell you that I think that this is going to be a very tough year in the United States. I think there are many things that are going on that are not necessarily going to turn out great. I'm not happy with the new leadership that will take over on January 19th. I don't agree with a lot of the philosophies that are espoused by that particular man. And I don't agree that this country is able right now to come together as a united nation. And as I review some of the issues that we are facing, you will see that the Republicans and the Democrats do not agree on the size and the shape of the issues that they are confronting. And I find it amazing that in certain cases, the difference of opinion on a particular issue is huge. In some cases, the Republicans view this thing as an 80% or so issue, and the Democrats will view the same issue as about 20%, and vice versa. So let me go through some of these things with you, and let's see how you out there feel about these issues. About 80% of Republicans feel that inflation is a very big problem, but only about 45% of the Democrats feel the same way. And so that percentage in the Republican mind is up a little bit, about 3 or 4 points in the last year or so. And as the Democrats are looking at it, their view has gone down about 5 points. So that's the kind of disparities that we are going to see as we go through these items. When we look at the federal budget deficit, about 70% of the Republicans think it's a big problem, with about 35% of the Democrats thinking that it's a big problem. And interestingly enough, this view changes from president to president. When Trump was president the first time around, this view was entirely different. Who knows what will happen this time around? We'll just have to wait and see. Now, for a while, we had an unemployment problem in this country, but it's gone pretty much down to only about 3 or 4% of the population right now. And so Americans, Democrats and Republicans, don't view this as a big problem. The percentages are almost the same, so it's not even worth mentioning. Now, illegal immigration is a big problem in this country. And about 51%, that's a number that's up from 47% of our population actually feels that illegal immigration is a big problem. But when you look at the distribution of who feels that way, you see that Republicans are almost 80% in that category, while Democrats are only about 25% in that category. So we have a huge group of people in the Republican Party that are dead set against against immigration. And we can see that in the national polls and the way that they have gone to vote for President Trump because he feels that way about immigration. So illegal immigration is a very big problem in this country. And the total population is at about 50%, but most of those are Republican. Now, when it comes to gun violence, which I think is a big problem in this country, the percentages in total are kind of the same. However, in this case, you're going to find that about 70% of the Democrats versus 25% of the Republicans feel that this is a big problem. So you see, while you have the population numbers that become equivalent, when you look at the breakdown, you see the disparities between the way Republicans think about something and the way that Democrats think about something. So gun violence in this country, which I think is absolutely an insane problem, is not that much of a problem for those who have a Republican leaning. So it's a very interesting thing because when people tell you the percentages on the whole, they don't show you the entire picture because they say 50% of the people. But it is 50% of the people, but it's 80% of one party and 20% of the other party. Okay? So we have to recognize that fact. So when you hear numbers like 50% or 30% as a grand total, it really doesn't give you the full picture of how people feel about the problem. And then there's climate change. Climate change, about a third of the population, 36%, say it's a big, big problem. Now that's down from about 45% in 2021. But once again, we have this disparity. You know, at one point, 71% of the Democrats described climate change as a big problem, and the Republicans view it as less of a problem. So as I said before, we have to dig deep into these issues. And the last issue on the table is racism. Overall, almost 30% of Americans say that racism is a big problem. Now that number is down from what it was in 2020, but I don't think it has declined. I think it's gone up in many cases. There's no question in my mind that anti-Semitism has risen greatly over the past couple of years. Now, maybe the color, the difference in racism may be when you look at color discrimination. Maybe that has gone down. But certainly religious discrimination in terms of the Jewish population has gone way up. So maybe we are looking at discrimination in this country in the wrong way. I leave you with that. There are no figures on that exactly in this particular report. But there is no question in my mind that religious discrimination has gone up, and I lump that with racial discrimination. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Hatred of other people is a terrible, terrible thing. So I leave you on that sour note. Have a great day, and let's hope that 2025 turns out to be better than I think it will. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.